Hey guys, what is up? I know it's been a long time since I've done some of my trade reviews. Just so many things on the go. I wasn't prioritizing YouTube, and I'm still not sure how deep I will get back into this, but I thought I would jump on today because I had some messages via social asking if I would do a few more reviews or consider jumping back on. So today I thought would be a good day, seeing that I'm finished. It's about 11:50 my time, Eastern market time. So I just thought I would give a brief overview of what I do when I come to the screens. I have it saved on a notepad, and I will copy paste this, and I'll go through the entire list looking for possible reversals. But one of the most important things that I do is look at the larger time frame. So I will shift through like this. So I'll have a weekly on one side and a daily on the other. And as we all know, the intraday is more noisier. Intraday is more noisy than the larger time frame. The larger time frame levels tend to be respected a little bit more. And so the way I've built my strategy is I do trade intraday. I'm trading 15-minute reversals. I don't really like fives anymore, just because, like I said, it just tends to be a little bit more noisy in the on the smaller time frames. And so I will look to where we are. So I will start early. So I'm at the screen 6 o'clock. I'll do my daily journal, kind of how I'm feeling, put down or mark down how much sleep I've had. Did I hit the gym? Did I get enough water? These are all factors, determining factors whether or not I'll trade for the day, because there's been so many times I have younger kids and they're heavily involved in sports. And if I don't get a minimum of 5 hours sleep, I'm extremely cautious. I'll reduce my risk, or I'll just call it a no trade day, because mentally I'm not there. I don't have the capacity to make decisions, or I don't have the ability to manage emotions effectively in the market. So, obviously everything comes into play when we're trading: fear, greed, FOMO, ROMO, and I'll have it all, and it's hard to control. So generally speaking, 5 is the limit for me. And I usually hit the gym extremely early. Again, I have young kids, so I'm at the gym 4:30, hour and a half session, and then I'll sit down, come to the screens around 6 a.m., do my daily journal. How did I trade yesterday? How far did the price go from where I exited? How can I improve my entry? Can I get a tighter entry, tighter stop? And so it's just a constant ongoing process. But the first thing I will do is look at TradingView, and I will always mark the larger time frame levels, just so I can see if I can get a general sentiment of market, or if I get a general idea of where market sentiment is. And I'll write a small note for myself, but I'll mark both ways. So I'll start this fresh. I look at the weekly. I do have these auto lines drawn in. They don't update on a Monday, so it's delayed. So basically I will mark the weekly level, drill down. Again, it's a top-down approach. I'll look at the daily, which was yesterday's high-low. And then I'll shift over to the 15-minute. And I'll try to figure out where are we in relation to last week's range. And then where are we in relation to yesterday's range? So for the past few days, since Friday, we've been stuck in this range. Of course, we've had this large move up. This was all during election gaps, which need to be corrected and filled. And so I'll take all of that into consideration. I'll also mark ATR at current price, just to kind of get a general idea of where it can typically go. I like to use ATR in my plan. So let's say we opened, I don't know, let's say we opened, where do we open? 4 a.m. So I'll mark, say, 5.5 down, roughly, which is where we hit right now and bounced, and 5.5 up. Roughly. Are there any important levels around this? Also, I will look at news, and with TradingView, you can filter high priority to low priority. And sometimes these low priorities do affect market, especially if there's a Fed speaker, not specifically like a FOMC, but there are at times Fed speakers sprinkled throughout the day. And, there are times where I wouldn't have this marked or looking at it, and you get this really kind of weird price movement. And this was the reason why. There's always usually something. This is a paid version. You can also use FinViz. I use a paid version of FinViz as well, but they give you a breakdown of what's happening. Trading terminal is also good. Those are the boys at Variable Traders. Oops. They also have a nice setup here that kind of gives you everything as well. So then once I have all of that done, I have, like I said, a list of stocks that I use, and these are stocks that I'm familiar with. I know that they have good liquidity. I know they have a good float. This, it's not some garbage stock I'm not used to, nor I think will I ever trade penny stocks. So I stick to mid and large. The moves are somewhat predictable. I wouldn't say 100% predictable, but again, I'm used to trading them. They have good order flow, and they're not spready. So I will go down my entire list like this. And you can see I'll mark these. They'll signified with an R as a reversal. R weak, which signifies an A trade for me. R risky, which is possibly a B trade. Maybe it's past ATR, or there's something about it that's risky, so I'll proceed with caution. So I'll go down the entire list. CPNG, weekly, daily, current price action. So I know that if it bounces, or we run into this resistance here, and the setup is my 15-minute setup, which like I took on NVIDIA. I'll show that in a little bit. I will pull the trigger on a trade like this, especially if we're behind or holding these larger time frame levels. Now, the thing that really kind of messed me up in the past was the levels, because everybody knows that retail traders will where they'll place their stops. So you get these liquidity sweeps sometimes, or you get these, what they call liquidity sweeps or fake breaks. And these, when you look at these on a smaller time frame, say even a 2-minute, 5-minute, so you have that level that I had drawn here. And look, it held even for 3 days here. Hit this level, bounced. Hit this level, bounced. And the same thing, but you can see that each time it did hit that level, there was a little bit of a sweep or a fake break. So like I said, it doesn't hold to the penny. And that was one of my main issues before, is I thought, okay, here's the level, 2361, stop will be at 2360, and it would always kind of wick me out. And then I'm trigger shy, I wouldn't jump into the trade. So that's another thing to take into consideration when marking these larger time frame levels. And again, it's not always a guarantee. Sometimes with these larger time frame levels, even a monthly or daily, you'll have the price hit and it will just range around that level until we get some type of ignition volume or some type of news or whatever that may be, or a big buyer that kind of sends the stock or the price moving up. So again, I will, generally speaking, look for that. I also like it when price moves away from VWAP like this. So it's parabolic. So you do have a good risk to reward from here, bottom, at least to here. You try and get 2R, and then you hold on to it, and you can see it did. These are tough to hold on to too, especially for myself lately. I've been setting my target, and or I would set a range and let it go. But if you're sitting in front of the screens waiting for this to hit your target, whether you use fibs or whatever it is that you're looking to do, or where your target is, it's very hard to sit through this chop. You've got a balanced book, nothing's happening. This ran all the way into the close. You can see you get some volume here and it pushed up, but generally speaking, the bulk of the move I try to get out of here, and then maybe I'll just hold on to a small position hoping that I get it to, which is this level, previous day close, or pre-market high or pre-market low. Again, these are all intraday levels. I don't really hold much value in them aside from entries. I've also will use fib levels, and the sweet spot for me is typically the like a 50% pullback, which is exactly where price went on this day. You can see right here. But no, I mean, 50% pullback, you can see that it pulled back to 60, which is what it held. And as long as you have a decent stop entry, and you can get, for me, I tried a minimum 2R. And again, some of this stuff does change on the fly. I've been guilty of sitting in front of the screens, mismanaging my trade, sitting through all this shit because it messes with your head. So I've just found that majority of my trades go 2, sometimes 3R with my style on the 50-minute reversals. And so I just leave well enough alone, because I will always find a reason to cover or to sell. So that's that. Okay, so I got that out of the way. What did I take today? Airbnb. Weekly, daily. I will also look at these levels. So I was looking at Airbnb today because of what came up on the 15. So 15. We had this big push up here. And then we had this indecision candle, shooting star. There was a lot of volume. I typically like to see these turn green. We are away from VWAP, and the daily level was like, and I had this level, possibly back to yesterday's high. And this is a spready stock. It's spready as hell. And even with the price action, it's really jumpy. I'm thinking of adding this to my no trade list. I do have it on my main watch list that I haven't traded very many times. I just do not like the way it moves. It has erratic price action, and I'd much rather trade Nvidia, AMD, or something that's a little bit more smooth. So this was a loss. I had a wider than normal stop because of the spread and the price of the stock and my risk. Because of the size of my risk, I needed this to I needed enough for my account to cover it. So I was looking to get 2.5R on this trade. Unfortunately, this didn't work. Using my scanner, I have a scanner on my top monitor. I have a 6 monitor setup, and I'll just start to cycle through the what I have on my scanner. So I have a few different settings. If anybody's interested, let me know. I have high volume scanner, I'll have ATR scanner, I have 15-minute reversal scanner, and they're all kind of I have them all customized to my style, my strategy. Again, if anyone's interested, let me know. So Nvidia, as I was cycling through my watch list or my scanner, I had Nvidia pop up. Oops. Here it is here. So here's the 15. What I liked about this was the fact that we had this big push down. It did hit ATR. I didn't like the fact that there wasn't any larger time frame levels around these. Now, based on my back testing and all of my journaling, I know that there's been a lot of what I consider B trades, and for me, a B trade is not having the current price action hit a daily or a weekly level. See, we broke below last week's range. We also have earnings today at the close, but I generally speaking, a stock is weak in the way I trade them when it breaks below previous days or previous week's range. You can see this did hold the 9, push back up, reclaim this 140 and run. But this is how I trade it. This is what I see or have seen works best for me. So I looked at the 15 and I was gun shy on this. And like I said, this is a B, so I consider this a paper-handed trade. If it does go against me or I don't see anything in the level 2 or the tape really pushing, I'll bail on it. There was so much momentum behind this move. I added in as we got over VWAP. I partialed. I actually had an issue with my DAS platform. I don't know why it wouldn't let me partial, but I did partial. Eventually it worked. And I got out here. So this covered my loss and then some on the Airbnb trade. And this is one of the biggest things. So the Airbnb trade was just I don't know, 5 minutes prior to this one, roughly. I'd have to check. But you'll feel so inclined to get back what you lost, jump in something, I have to get it back right away. And then in that moment, when your mind isn't clear, you're just kind of not in rage mode, but you're in a state that isn't conducive for trading. I'll put it that way. So you can't think clearly. You have one thing on your mind. You got to get back what I lost. And it's not a good place for your mindset to be. So I just took a few minutes, shifted, and this came up on my scanner, and I didn't even think twice about it. I saw that perfect 15-minute setup, and I didn't even think. My body, my mind is just moving on its own at this point, and so it was an instant entry. And yeah, so that's one, like I said, one of the biggest things is having a clear mindset, not chasing anything or going after something just to get the money back that you lost, because then it ends up in a terrible negative downward spiral. So it's lost one, lost two, lost three, and then before you know it, you're at your max loss or you blew up your account. So that's the biggest takeaway I would have to say from this video I have to do. It's even with the confidence. I'm coming off 4 or 5, I believe, consecutive wins, so my confidence is a little bit higher, which is probably why I took the Airbnb trade. Just not that I think I can catch a loser or see something. I'm just trading my plan, right? But it's like anything, right? Your confidence is high. You may push a little bit more, and so I was very cautious and aware of what was happening. But yeah, that is about it. I am working with a performance coach, altmanhighperformance.com. We are doing potential group sessions if we have enough signups. I also am still doing one-on-one mentoring. It's zprotrader.com. If anybody's interested, please just shoot me a DM or a message on Instagram. I'm on all the platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's zprotrader.com. Hope that everybody had a fantastic trading day and week so far, and I will see you soon.